You need to think about leads as a regular, consistent method of purchase than something that you buy here and there. So a couple of examples for me that worked. First of all, the nice thing about direct mail, and this would be exclusively if you're working final expense with us or maybe in your another line, sometimes mortgage protection, you still get direct mail, Medicare to an extent too as well. You want to set up a weekly recurring lead order, because what that does is it automates the purchase process. Every Thursday, Friday, whatever that day is, I would have an order automatically tagged to my credit card for a set amount of leads. And I wouldn't have to go worry about, did I get my order in? Did I miss the deadline? Do I really want to order because, boy, I had a bad week? I didn't have as much obstacles in the way to make the decision to invest again the following week and then on a continuously weekly basis, because everything was set up on an automated basis. And even when things are going great or I got behind on a vacation, I still ordered leads. I still had prospects to see, and I was in abundance. I was awash. I was buried in leads because I always tried to give myself the best problem to see, which is too many people to see, or best problem to have, which is too many people to see. So what's the moral of the story here? As you start to buy leads, whether you're brand new to the business or even if you're getting started and you're struggling, ask yourself, am I consistently ordering leads every week? Is there a time on my calendar I sit down every week and buy more leads? Or better yet, can I set up an automatic subscription basis to recur a draft against my card, my account, my whatever, so I always know that consistently I'll have leads and maybe even more leads than I need? Because leads are the lifeblood of your business. If you don't have prospects to see and people to talk to, you're toast. And even if you're not buying leads, when you find a prospect to talk to, you don't want to, let's say, cold calling or referral generating. That doesn't mean you stop cold calling and referral generating. You certainly work that lead that you get, but you have to set time to continuously fill the hopper of opportunities to close new business with. If you're not filling that hopper with more outbound prospecting, cold calling, cold canvassing, referral generation, then eventually that sale that you think may go through may not. And then you're left with the same problem we're all in, is what am I going to do with my time? I don't have anybody to talk to. So be proactive, consistent, and most importantly, on auto drive with your lead investments and time spent generating new prospects. So that's the first thing that I would say everybody here needs to make sure that they work on and fix to ensure that they have a consistent flow of leads and people to talk to. Okay, the problem being here with lead management is when agents only buy the minimum number of leads. So let me explain a little bit about what that means, the minimum number of leads, and then explain it in kind of a mindset way of how you need to shift how you think about your leads. So one of the things we teach, and a lot of organizations will teach, is that you can do a reverse engineering of your numbers, your activity and lead numbers, to find out what your projected presentation, sales, and close rates will be. For example, if you buy 20 direct mail leads a week, if you're a good agent, not great, not bad, you should sit down with 10 of those people and probably close 4 or 5 deals conservatively. So for every 20 direct mail leads, you should close 4 or 5 leads. So what are we trying to say here? Well, if I buy 20 leads every week, I'll close 4 or 5 sales. That's true over the long haul. But in between, week to week, maybe not quarter to quarter, you're going to have some weeks where it's great. You're going to have some weeks where it's bad. And my point is that one of the best ways to smooth over the 100% certainty that you as a newer agent, even more experienced agents go through the same thing. The number one way to smooth over the troughs, the rough spots where you're working and nobody's buying, is to make sure that you have more leads than you need. You want above the minimum. So this speaks to, from this mindset thing I talked about, you need to have an abundance mindset. Have you guys heard of that? Like the abundance mindset versus the scarcity mindset. Scarcity meaning, everybody's broke, nobody wants to buy, this is a failed business model, final expense sucks, whatever, right? Whereas the abundance model is, man, there's more people than I know what to deal with. I can't stay ahead of things. There's so much money to be made, right? You want to cultivate yourself to believe, and you have to believe this, not to say it, that there is an abundance mindset, that you need to have an abundance mindset. And part of that cultivation is taking steps intentionally, that word intentionally, to put yourself in a state where you're going to just be abundantly overwhelmed, right? In other words, it's one thing to say, oh, abundance mindset, abundance mindset. It's another thing to say, man, I've got like 40 leads. I'm not even halfway through them. It's Friday already. I'm so stressed out because there's so many prospects to see. I can't stay in front of them. They're getting a little bit older in a sense of how long the lead's been sitting there without being talked to. But I closed 10 deals this week. I made $5,000, $7,000 in commissions. Now is that a good problem to have or a bad problem? So I like thinking about it like you want in your business good problems to have, right? And when you have an abundance mindset and you, again, key point here, buy more leads than you necessarily need, you're creating an abundance situation. And yes, you're going to have the problems of not being able to catch up with everybody, to be behind to a certain extent, to feel overwhelmed, but you're probably going to close a lot more business too, because you have that much more opportunity to deal with. So that would be an example of a good problem, right? So what's a bad problem to have? Well, bad problem to have is when you're in the scarcity mindset. When you're thinking, well, I don't know, maybe I'll try to get 4 sales out of 15 direct mail leads instead of 20, or it doesn't matter the type of leads, but you get the point. You undercut the potential of what you could get, and you go even below the minimum. And then you find out you have a really bad week, nobody buys, and then that starts to affect you and reinforce this scarcity mindset, thinking that there's nobody that's buying out there. They're all deadbeats. They're all broke, blah, 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 blah. So you don't want to go that route, because that is the proverbial circling the bull, where you will be flushed out of the business because you ain't making money. And if you ain't making money in this business, I mean, how are you going to buy more leads and support your family, right? You're just not going to do it. So what's the point here? The point is, don't just do the minimum when it comes to buying leads on a recurring basis. Buy 20% more than you need. Start there, 20, 25%. If I want 15, so I'll give you a couple examples. My goal for my people at the Ford Insurance Group is 15 completed appointments a week. So many of the problems agents have in this business are just gone, mitigated, wiped away when an agent consistently does 15 appointments every single week. Face-to-face telesales closer to 20. If they're doing 15 appointments a week for direct mail, they need to have about 30 direct mail leads a week, closer to 40, maybe 50 Facebook leads a week at a minimum. But what did we just talk about? We don't want to do the minimum. We want to do more. So in this case, if I'm buying 30, if I know 30 is what I need to do 15, I'd say just do 40. If I know 40 or 50 is what I need to do 15 appointments, 40 or 50 Facebook leads, 60, maybe 65, right? Am I going to work all those leads? Maybe not, but I'll eventually get to them. And in case, let's say all the leads are terrible and nobody wants to buy or set or see me, there's likely, with the added increase in volume I'm getting every week, opportunity there if for some reason leads were just not coming in as well and as high quality as they usually be. And then the other factor is too, if for some reason the response rates to get those leads are lower, it takes longer to turn around the leads, or you have a bad week with direct mail where you expected 40, but you only got 25, you still probably have a pile or an inventory to work on. So again, if our goal is to write business consistently and to make the most money out of this business, you have to not just get the right type of lead. You can't just make sure that you're buying on a consistent basis. You have to, in my opinion, buy more than you need. You need to position yourself intentionally in a position of abundance so that you only have good problems, not the bad ones. You have too many people to talk to and still write a lot of business, as opposed to too few people to talk to and you don't write any business. There's two problems you can have. Which one do you want? I vote for too many people to see.